The moonlight spills softly into the bedroom, curtains swaying with the breeze. You are fast asleep, breath slow and calm, hair spread across the pillow like silk. Jungkook stood quietly near the bed, shirt unbuttoned, holding a small velvet box. Inside two silver anklets with teeny black stones and bells, a quiet gift made just for you. He knelt down, gently lifting your ankle. As he clasped the anklet around it, you stirred slightly. Hmm, cook, you mumbled. I'm here, he whispered, brushing his thumb over your foot. Go back to sleep. What are you doing? Tying you to me, he murmured with a soft smile. Forever. You smiled in your sleep and relaxed again. Jungkook kissed your ankle gently, then climbed into bed beside you. You instinctively turned into him, your leg draped over his waist. The anklet jingled softly. You put something on me? You asked, groggily. Maybe, I whispered, grinning. You peeked at it and smiled. You're ridiculous. You love it. I do. He pulled you close, wrapping you in his arms, kissing your forehead. And they're tangled together under moonlight. Sleep found you again, safe, loved, and home. Next morning, the kitchen smelled like toasted bread and fresh coffee. He walked in wearing one of Jungkook's black shirts, slightly wrinkled, hanging loose, the sleeves pushed up to your elbows. The cool anklets around your ankles jingled lightly as you moved. Jungkook stood near the stove, shirtless, focused on the pan in front of him. His hair was a bit messy, and a small tattoo on his shoulder flexed every time he moved his arms. He glanced over his shoulder when he heard you. You're up, he said, your voice low from just waking up. You hummed in response, walked over to the counter and grabbed a mug. Smells good. He nodded toward the plates. I made extra eggs. You poured yourself some coffee and leaned against the counter watching him move. There was something calming about it, him quietly going about his routine, no need for small talk or forced words. Didn't expect you to cook today, you said after a moment. He turned off the stove and shrugged. Felt like it. You skipped dinner last night. You raised an eyebrow. Were you spying? Not really, just noticed. You didn't say anything, just gave a small smile and took another sip of coffee. A few minutes later, the two of you sat at the table, plates in front of you, the silence between you both. Familiar, uneasy. Outside the wind rustled the trees. Inside, only the clinking of forks and the quiet rhythm of chewing filled the space. Later, you sat on the couch, lazily scrolling through your phone while the TV played in the background. The house was quiet, breakfast cleared, the morning was slow. Jungkook walked out, dressed in all black, sharp, focused. Sleeves rolled up, watch glinting. He was in work mode. Office, you asked, just for a few hours, he replied, grabbing his phone. He walked over, leaned down, and brushed a strand of hair from your face. You need anything? You smiled faintly. Go handle your $1 billion things. He smirked, then kissed you soft and sure, just enough to make your heart pause. I'll call you later, he said. You better. He left with a glance over his shoulder. The door clicked shut. You sat there, the echo of his kiss still lingering, the day quietly unfolding. The house had been quiet since Jungkook left, a little too quiet. You played music in the kitchen just to fill the silence, soft humming, melodies playing from the speaker. You weren't really singing at first, just humming along, wiping down the counter, tying your apron, but slowly the rhythm caught your mood and your voice joined in. It wasn't perfect, but it was gentle, your voice slow, floating through the kitchen while you gathered ingredients flour, sugar, eggs, cocoa, the basics. You moved slowly, deliberately pouring everything into bowls. Your sleeveless rolled up. It wasn't just any cake, it was his favorite, something he loved on quiet nights. Something you used to bake together, laughing and sneaking spoonful of frosting when no one was watching. But tonight you were making it alone because he had said he would only be gone for 4 hours. And even though you didn't want to say it out loud, part of you missed him. The warm smell of chocolate filled the kitchen as the oven ticked quietly. You wiped your hands on a towel and climbed up on the counter, your legs swinging off the edge. The kitchen light was dim now, only one small bulb glowing above the stove. The music had stopped. You checked the time. It's 11 p.m. He said he would be back by 9. You stared at the clock again. The 2 minutes passed, then 5. You tapped your phone screen. No messages, no missed calls. Maybe he got caught up. Maybe there was traffic. Maybe he lost track of time. Still, you sat there in the living room, trying not to think too much, legs now still, arms crossed over your chest. The kitchen was quiet except for the low hum of the refrigerator and the occasional creak of the house settling. Your head rested against the cupboard behind you, eyes blinking slower now. You hadn't realized how heavy your body had gotten, how tired your heart felt after waiting in silence. And slowly you drifted off, still sitting, your knees drawn up slightly, your head resting to the side. A sudden sound jolted you awake, the faint click of the front door. You blinked groggy and disoriented, your neck sore from the position you had been sleeping in. Your phone buzzed faintly. It was 2:32 a.m. The front door opened fully now, and there he was, Jungkook, walking in with his phone pressed to his ear, voice low and serious. I told you not to finalize anything until I reviewed it, he said sharply, not even glancing towards the kitchen. Yeah, I just got home. I'll check the file in the morning. You didn't speak, you just watched. He walked straight upstairs, the sound of his shoes soft on the floor. You stayed still, your body frozen not from fear but from that familiar quiet ache of being forgotten. Had he even noticed the smell of the cake, the one you made just for him, the dim kitchen left on me sitting here? Maybe not, you thought silently. A few minutes passed, you heard his footsteps upstairs faint, then a sudden rush, fast steps coming back down. Wine? He called, a slight panic in his voice now. Babe, you didn't move yet. Wine? His voice was louder now, footsteps quicker, eyes scanning the room. You finally called out from your spot, your voice low. I'm here. I stopped immediately, body going stiff. He turned slowly toward the sound of your voice. There you were, still on the counter, in the dim kitchen light, your face half in shadow, the cake sitting untouched beside you. For a moment he just stared, as if he couldn't resist her. It was you, his heart clearly racing. Shut up. He breathed, hand over his chest. I thought that was a ghost. You gave a small, tired laugh. Not a ghost, just your wife. He stepped closer, eyes softer now, guilt quickly rising in them. You scared the hell out of me. Why were you sitting in the dark? You shrugged lightly, sliding off the counter. I didn't mean to fall asleep. I was just waiting. He looked at you properly now, the smudges under your eyes, the untouched cake on the table, the flicker of disappointment. You weren't trying to hide anymore. I'm sorry, he said quietly. You gave a tight smile. You said 4 hours. I know, he replied, voice low. It turned into more. You nodded. Yeah, I noticed. Silence filled the room again, but this time it wasn't comfortable, just quiet. He looked at you, wanting to say more, but nothing came out. He turned back toward the counter, eyes lingering on the cake. It's still fresh if you want some. He didn't say anything right away, just stood there, feeling a distance he hadn't realized he created until now. He was about to speak just then his phone rang. You saw it was his secretary, means it was related to work again. He simply got up and left towards the bedroom without speaking a word to him. He soon came inside just to see you sleeping on the bed. Soon he joined you, his forehead rested against yours, the warmth of his breath fanning gently across your lips, still lingering with the kiss he had poured himself into. His voice had cracked when he whispered that, "I'm sorry," and you felt it, not just his words, but in the tremble of his hands, in the way he held you like you were something sacred he was afraid of losing. You stayed silent for a moment, eyes closed, as if letting his words sink into the soft spaces inside you, the places that had been aching all night. Your fingers brushed against the side of his neck, thumb tracing a small circle, and when you finally opened your eyes to meet his, you saw it: guilt, fear, love. "I know," you whispered so gently it made his throat tighten. "I know you are tired, and I know this project means everything to you, but sometimes I need to mean everything to you too," you said quietly, your voice not angry, just honest. Jungkook's eyes softened, filled with something deeper than regret. "You do," he said almost in a breath. "You do, Wild. You're the only thing that feels real when everything else starts falling apart. I got so lost in all of it." You nodded slowly, your forehead still resting against his. "I believe you, but I also need you to remember that love doesn't survive just on memories. It needs presence, moments, even small ones." His arms tightened around you as if afraid you would fade. "I'll try harder," he said, "I promise." You gave a soft sigh and leaned into him, your nose brushing his. "Good, because I don't want to start feeling alone in something we promised to build together." "I won't let that happen," he whispered, kissing your cheek, then your nose, then your lips again, soft and grateful this time. You let your hands rest against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart, and slowly you smiled just a little. And with that, he pulled you gently into his chest, wrapping both arms around you, and this time you held him back just as tightly. It didn't break all at once. They were not big fight, just a silence that slowly made its home between you and Jungkook. Next, the clock in the hallway had just struck 4 when you carefully carried a steaming mug of coffee to Jungkook's home office. You hesitated by the door, your knuckles hovering for a moment before you gave it 2 soft taps. No answer. You pushed the door open gently, peeking in. He was there, sitting at his desk, eyes glued to the monitor, fingers moving quickly across the keyboard. Papers were scattered across the desk, along with his table, phone, and notepad filled with scribbles. He looked exhausted, his brows furrowed, hair messy, pushed back. You stepped inside quietly, balancing the mug with both hands. "I brought you coffee," you said, your voice soft like it always was when you were trying to ease into this busy world. No answer from him. You placed the mug on the edge of the desk, careful not to disturb his files. Still no response. You waited, hoping maybe he would glance up, a smile, a quick, "Thanks, babe," anything, but his eyes never left the screen. You stood there for a moment, watching him, searching his face for even the smallest flicker of acknowledgement. Nothing. Your lips parted slightly, as if to say something, then closed again. The room felt colder than it should have. Finally, you turned around and walked out, leaving the door ajar behind you. The scent of the coffee lingered longer than your presence. It was a Wednesday morning, the kind of day you used to start with matching coffee mugs and sleepy kisses against the kitchen counter. But you stood near the counter and remembered which was happened earlier. Jungkook didn't even look at you and left for the office hurriedly. He will kiss you when he goes to the office daily, but today he didn't. You can see his distant behavior from a week. You were thinking he would spend time with you today, but every day turned into tomorrow, which was making you upset and sad, as it was tough to be away from the man you love. He had been staring at the same spreadsheet for the past 10 minutes, not seeing any of the numbers. His thoughts were elsewhere, scattered, tangled, distracted. His secretary's voice had floated into the room as she took a call, laughing softly in the corner. Yes, baby, I'll be home before 7, I promise. She said into the phone. You always get lonely without me, don't you? Jungkook had looked up then, his fingers stealing on the keyboard. There was something about the warmth in her tone, the gentle teasing, the way she held space for someone, even during her busy workday, and the way the voice on the other side had made her smile like that. And then it hit him not like a wave, but like a slow, steady pressure building inside his chest. That's what you used to sound like when you had called him at work, just to ask if he had eaten, just to say you missed him, just to fill the space between you with something soft, something warm. Now there was only silence. You didn't call anymore, you barely even texted. And he had gotten so used to the quiet, so lost in the storm of his own routines, that he hadn't even noticed when your voice began to disappear. A guilt laced heaviness settled in his stomach. She must feel so alone. I should not have ignored wine in the work. Once I finish this project, I'll make it up to you. I'm sorry, Van. He thought, standing up from his chair. He didn't know what he was going to do or say, but he just knew he had to get home to you. The door creaked open softly as he stepped into the house. Warm light spilled from the living room and laughter trickled out, a sound he hadn't heard in weeks. His footsteps slowed as he rounded the corner, and what he saw made him stop completely. You were sitting on the couch, legs tucked under you, a cozy blanket draped across your lap. Across from you was Jenny, his younger sister, grinning mid conversation, her coffee cup half empty. You were laughing. It was a soft laugh, but real, genuine, and it wasn't because of him. Jenny noticed him first. Oppa, she exclaimed, getting up and wrapping her arms around him. He smiled, kissing her forehead. You didn't tell me you were coming. I thought I would surprise you both. It's been forever. Jungkook's eyes moved to you next. He walked over and bent down, brushing his lips gently against yours in greeting. You didn't return it. Your smile was polite, distant. Hey, you said simply. He waited for something more. A sparkle in your eyes, a teasing comment, a playful nudge. But there was nothing. He looked back down at your cup like the moment hadn't even happened. No offer of tea, no soft, familiar affection, just silence. Jenny's smile faded slightly as she sat back down, eyes flickering between the two of you. She didn't say anything, but something in her gaze lingered. One day, you and Jenny are now sitting in the garden enjoying the view. Jenny was about to ask something, but you saw a maid coming towards you all with coffee. So you got up while walking towards the maid to grab the mugs. That when Jenny's phone rang. It was from Jungkook. Jenny lifted it and put it on the table instead of speaking. Jungkook was calling Jenny, but she wasn't answering until you came back. Jenny, take this. You sat down beside Jenny again, handed her the coffee, and took a small sip from yours. A soft silence wrapped around you. Then your gaze trapped to the mug in your hands, your lips parted before you could stop them. I don't know what I did wrong, you whispered, eyes fixed on the steam rising from your cup. It's been 3 weeks, Jenny, 3 whole weeks, and he hasn't made. Jenny's expression shifted immediately, eyes softening, brows drawing together. You kept going. Before, it used to be so natural, so warm. He used to hold me like I was his anchor, like I was the only thing keeping him grounded. Your voice trembled, and now I lie next to him every night, and it's like there is an invisible wall between us. He barely looks at me, barely speaks. Jenny placed a gentle hand over yours, her eyes now filled with worry. I miss him, you said, the words cracking open something in you. I miss being wanted. I miss being touched like I mattered. It's like he's here, but not really. Tears spilled over your cheeks before you could stop them. Do you think it's me? Did I become boring, too quiet? Am I not attractive anymore? Or maybe he found someone else, someone who makes him feel alive again. I cannot bear his new distant behavior. Jenny pulled you into a hug, holding you tightly, her own heart aching at the pain in your voice. No, sweetheart, it's not you. He's just, he lost. But I know my brother, he loves you, he does. But what you didn't know was, Jungkook heard you crying through the call, sensing you were about to talk about Jungkook. Jenny put the call on. He didn't hang up, he just listened, and with every word, guilt sank deeper into his chest, like stones tied to his ribs. At night, you lay curled up beneath the sheets, your back to the door, the room dim and quiet. Your tears had dried, but the ache hadn't. The door creaked open slowly. You didn't move. The bed dipped as Jungkook slipped in behind you, hesitating before wrapping his arms around your waist. His hold was tentative, as if unsure he was still allowed to touch you. Thank you for watching.